Hello sailors and welcome back to beautiful Canagione. Last week we tried to capture just how busy sailing in northern Sardinia can get in the summer.
What the actual...
And this week we hope to capture just how windy it can get. We're Faye and Rob. This is Yewy. And this week, despite our better judgment, we are anchoring in 40 to 50 knots. We are very happy to have you on board, sailors.
So we mentioned there was some bad weather coming through. Today's the day it hits, and for the next 3 days it's going to look very differently in this anchorage that we've just spent for a week. So rather than all the chop being caused by power boats going past, it's going to be caused by the elements. We've got a bit of a wind shift, which makes it quite difficult. So we're going to get a strong easterly this afternoon, about 35 knots. And then at about 8 o'clock tonight, that will change to a westerly, 40 to 42 knots. These are the gusts. So hopefully that's not the sustained wind speed. But it just means that we're taking a few extra precautions on board, just so that we can get a little bit more peace of mind and hopefully rest nicely through the night. So we got 45 metres of chain out. We're in 4.5 metres of water. That's a scope of 10 to 1, which should mean that the pressure on the anchor is actually quite low-ish and give you a much less chance of dragging. We've got a snubber line attached to the chain there as well, which comes all the way back to a cleat, which is locked on. This has got a breaking strength of 3.5 tons. We shouldn't be approaching anywhere near that, so it just reduces the shock load on the new windlass. New windlass! Oh, still shiny! Fenders are on. Not controversial. If we drag, or if someone drags into us, you'll wish you had your fenders down there rather than being useless in your lockers. And they are secured with double knots, so less likelihood of coming off in the wind. Not likely that we're going to be able to get off the boat, which is bad news. We're keeping the tender in the water though, just in case. It's in the lee of the boat, so hopefully it's not going to get bashed around too much. We have attached an additional painter line there to a different secure point on the dinghy though, just in case anything happens with the main attachment point. We'll also secure the solar panels to the bimini. They don't like strong winds either. There's already a safety line on there, but we'll put another one on. And everything down below is going to be tidied away, stored ship shape, just so that there's nothing flying anywhere, and if we need to move through the boat quickly, we can. Torches will be at the ready, as will keys to start the engine, just in case we need a motor for any reason, and if we need light during the night. And it might sound trivial, but we victualled for the next 3 days. We've done the menu plan, and we've got everything that we need on the boat, just in the event that we can't get off. I mean, we came to the boat this morning in 20 knots of wind, and I was thinking to Faye, I was saying to Faye, I was like, if this is 40, it's a 40 knot wind is much stronger than a 20 knot wind, and it's not like double, if you know what I mean. It's bloody exponential. Some mathematician will tell me in the comments, hopefully. So I'm pretty happy with the way that the anchor's dug in at the moment. Like I say, we've got 45 metres of chain out. We reversed hard on it yesterday afternoon when we set the anchor, which we always do. That kind of has the effect of simulating stronger wind conditions on your anchor when you're setting it. Just gives it a better chance of setting into the sand or mud or whatever you're in. But what's always of concern when you're anchoring, especially in strong winds, are when you get a wind shift. So we're going to get a literal 180, and it's going to happen over 3 hours. So it's going to be coming from the east, and then it's going to be coming from the west. And it's that switching point where essentially the force on the boat's going to do the 180 with the wind as well, because we're going to stay pointing into the wind, of course. But the anchor on the seabed will actually perform a turn as well. And that's the point at which on that kind of pivot, you want the anchor to kind of stay set. And certainly, you know, where you get tidal conditions and you get a tide going one way and the other, it's always the point that you're going to be looking out for is that change of direction and just making sure that everything's fine. Mercifully for us, this is going to happen during the day and daylight. So much better than it happening overnight. And in fact, the strongest wind we're going to get is during the day rather than through the night as well. So if we can make it through the day, you know, the wind speeds overnight are going to drop down to about 27. So I'll be a bit more relaxed overnight, I think, if everything's working all right during the day.
Gusty, currently gusting 40. The cat that was anchored next to us, they've gone out. I don't know if they're going sailing because they're crazy or they're trying to move to a better spot. A dinghy just came up to us with a family on board that they must have hired for the day. They've got like this little, I'm not even going to call it a chart. It wasn't even a very good map, to be honest, but they didn't know where they were, bless them. They were saying, where are we? So like between basic Italian, Spanish and English, we're like, no, you're off that map. You're in Canagione. It's not even on that map. So we just sent them towards the marina. We were like, go over there. Go into the port. Get out of this. Wow.
That's what you don't want. Thankfully there's someone on the catamaran, like on that motorboat, just slowly dragged into them. Shit! There's no one on board it either. He's shouting to them, but there's no one to shout to. It's sustained 40 knots now. As Faye was mentioning, the little chartered ribs are still out. They've got no life jackets, no charts, they've got no GPS. They don't even know where they are. There's cushions floating in the water. I don't understand how it can be the case where people with literally no experience at all are given a little rib like that in conditions like this. It's just not good. Like, they're firmly wedged together. Wow, man. A bad day at sea. There's a large motorboat coming in to assist somehow. I mean, the thing is with this happens, right? I don't know what I would do in this situation. What would you do? There's a motorboat wedged on the front of your catamaran, the bow of your catamaran. I mean, what can you do? There's no one on board it. He's the guy on the catamaran on his own. What do you do? There's the Guardia Costa airport over there. I'd imagine, you know, we've got to put a call to channel 16. The catamaran guy is on the motorboat now, which I think is a very risky manoeuvre. I think he's asking the other motorboat to put a tow on. Some guys from a marina coming now. See the big motorboat over here. I think they're trying to position themselves. This is a rib that's just turned up. No idea who they are. Maybe they're super yacht crew, I think. A lot of power being used on the motorboat. You can see the fumes coming out on the starboard side. Now the port side. Yeah, he's going to reverse in. Wow. To be fair, the super yacht crew, cool as a cucumber, like. There's no shouting, there's no rushing. There's another rib now. Whoa, that was a transfer. Bloody hell. Back up to 35 knots now. I'm really not sure why the other motorboat went over and re-anchored there.
I think that they were worried in case those...
Oh yeah, they were worried. Absolutely, that's a very good point. They could have both dragged into this motor vessel. So he's like, I'm out of here. I thought he was going to help. I guess it is helping really, because if you had 3 vessels stacked up, that's even worse, isn't it? Windlass of the dragging vessel, the motor vessel, is now being used. So somehow to start that, it must have been the owner. Leapt like a man possessed from the tender. The tender's from a port called Ptolemy. Tender to Ptolemy. Well done, guys. And there you have it, you know. What's the point in filming all of that? It's not to take pleasure in it, that's for certain. Not to, like, you know, say, oh, you should have done this, you should have done that. It's to show that when you're anchoring in strong winds like this, it's not just your own vessel that you're looking out for, it's other vessels as well that you need to worry about. I'm up and down like a yo-yo. Every time I hear like a very strong gust come through, I'm up and I'm looking about still, you know. It's very difficult to settle in conditions like this. And even when you've set your ground tackle as best as you can and you seem to be holding, you know, your day can be seriously kind of befuddled by another vessel just dragging into you. If that had happened during the night, not so sure you're getting much of a response. The super yacht crews seem to have a bit of a reputation of helping out. They were over like a shot, like. Very competent professional mariners, you know, and they really did help the fella out, like, so credit to them. There's no way we could have gone out in our little 3.3 horsepower dinghy there. It would have just been too dangerous. So thankfully the guys with the more powerful toys and stuff come out and they help people out in situations like that. But aye, the med, eh? The snubber is doing work. Bar tight, keeping that pressure off the windlass. We've been joined by super yachts. Kind of reassuring really when a lot of other boats turn up. I think if it was just us here on our own, we'd probably be thinking, what the bloody hell do we not know that everyone else knows? But clearly this is the preferred sheltering spot for these types of wind in this area. What can you do? Well, we survived this afternoon. Tremendous. Bit of a wind shift and the wind between the wind shifts. There's a bit of a lull. So we took the opportunity to get Yewy to shore and have some aperitivi. Very nice to get off the boat after that all day, I must say. Everyone seems to come over to our side of the Anchorage now, which I'm not surprised at, because we're expecting a fierce westerly starting through the night and continue to build through tomorrow. So yeah, we're back on board. The wind shift has happened. We're now facing west rather than east. The wind is still quite light and it's going to get a lot stronger, like I was saying. So what I want to do is just put some reverse revs on the engine and just make sure that the anchor has set correctly when we've spun round. Because if it hasn't, that means we'll drag when the wind picks up. And I'd rather reset the anchor now than have to do it in the middle of the night in a lot stronger wind. I think it's a prudent thing to do. So we're just in idle reverse at the moment, and we can see the chain coming under a little bit of tension there, which is nice. We are right on top of the anchor, so we are going to move back, as we can see. We are moving backwards. But I would expect to stop once the chains ran out. We shall see. One of the things we didn't mention earlier on was that we actually set an anchor alarm as well, which helps us understand if we're moving too far out of the kind of circumference that we should be, based upon how much chain we've got out and where the boat moves. So we'll be checking that now as well. Wind's picking up to 17 knots, so now's a good time to do this. So now we can see that the chain is actually under tension and we are not moving any further back, which is a good sign. This is just under engine in tick over reverse. So now I'll apply some more revs just to simulate a stronger wind condition and just to hopefully dig that anchor in a bit more. All good?
Yeah, it's under tension, no speed, but no juddering or anything like that.
Excellent. Transits are holding importantly, yeah. Very good. Very good. Happy with that. All set, engine off. Well, that's the morning transfer done. How are you feeling?
Soggy.
Aye.
I used to put my belt leather gear on.
I know.
Oh, the things we do for Yewy. That was a tough night. We didn't get much sleep, did we?
Nope.
But good old CQR doing a fine job.
Certainly is.
Rob getting a core workout while trying to clean the dinghy. Excuse me, Yewy. Have you got that out of my bag? Yewy? What you doing? Yeah. You tinker. Got 40 knots coming through again. We've got the starter battery on, we've got the keys in the ignition. Anchor alarm suddenly started bleating, saying that we'd moved 10 meters out of our zone. Yeah, we're just keeping an eye on things. We're taking transits, we're not moving. Oh. 2 in the morning last night. The wind went absolutely horrific, like worse than I've ever heard the wind before. And then the heavens opened, thunder and lightning. Rob came up here to check what was going on, and the dinghy had flipped over. So we're about to find out if our outboard still works or if it's completely flooded. One of the oars went with it, so if the outboard doesn't work, don't know what we're gonna do. Let's find out. Do you think we should run it for a while to see? Do you think? Yeah. Well, that's a positive thing we weren't expecting. My backup plan was to put an alert out on Navally and say, can anyone please take me and my dog to shore for 10 minutes before the wind returns? Yeah, really glad that we managed to get Yewy to shore this morning. Whatever it was that happened last night, oh my goodness, it came from nowhere. It was calm and then it was just like this scream through the anchorage. And the actual like wind element probably lasted, I don't know, like 15-20 minutes. Rob said it looked like Armageddon when he was up there. It was like really cold as well. But then afterwards, then there was like the storm and the thunder and the lightning. So poor Yewy was having like a bit of a panic attack. So we were up comforting her, and then we got back to sleep. But today we have 44 predicted. We'll see what it gets up to. Rob has devised a day of yumminess to take our mind off it. So we are having bacon sarnies for breakfast. I'm very excited about this. It's proper bacon because we've had it in the freezer since Morrison's Gibraltar. Happy days.
This is a religious experience. We had one through the night when we did pray for this bacon egg sandwich. Thank you, Lord.
Yeah, this is like the greatest comfort food known to man, isn't it?
Especially in one of these Italian rolls as well. Why don't other countries do bacon? Because you get a lot of pork in Spain and Italy, don't you? But they don't do bacon.
They should.
They bloody well should do bacon. You're a good girl, aren't you, Yewy? What a good girl. Or maybe they're not. Oh, their engines are...
We just got hit.
End up back in the same place.
I know. Port nav light's been damaged. Let's see if it still works. It still works, so that's something to sort out. And now we secure it.
Take that off, and maybe epoxy it to there,
Yeah.
and then let it set.
But for now we just want to sort of like secure it
Now
and
I just want to secure it in
like
place.
try not to let any wires get damaged.
Exactly.
Okay. It's 12:30 now, so we've got another 4.5 to 7.5 hours until the worst of it is hopefully over. Because it's not pleasant. We've touched 50. It drops off to like next to nothing, and it feels like absolute paradise. But then your heart starts going because you know in a second it'll absolutely roll again. What's that?
43.
43.
Yeah, this is like I guess this is the first time we've anchored knowing that it's going to be really, really heavy weather. Like Faye said, it's touched 50 knots and been consistently over 40 knots now for hours, apart from those little lulls you get, but then it comes back. But anyway, the marina down the way there is 160 euros a night, and I think that it's quite a humbling experience really, because on anchor you can do it. Look, we haven't dragged so far, touch wood, Jesus, but it's not pleasant. Like, it's really not pleasant. There's a big German catamaran just like less than a boat's length, literally directly in front of our bow. Now I've got 45 meters of chain out, because you know you need all your chain out. And I'm looking at this guy and he's just playing with these plants in his catamaran, you know, and his 45-foot catamaran, and I'm like, I think you're too close. Doesn't even register. Just ignored, a bit arrogant really. And I thought, if he drags, then he's going to have no time to react and he's going to come straight into us. And then lo and behold, this morning we hear an enormous crash followed by a bit of a mini explosion and a big hissing sound. Jumps up here, 47 knots. And there's a catamaran in front of the bow, and this hissing and explosion was his big high field dinghy exploding basically. And the woman's like, oh, and I'm like, start your engine and get off the bow, and then he starts trying to reset his anchor right in front of me, and I'm shouting at him, no, off, it's heavy weather, you need to go into, there's plenty of space, like, you need to go into space. And to be fair, they'd gone off, but then, you know, this little, oh, it's just a tiny bit of scratch on your board, you know, they've ripped off one of our nav lights. It's just avoidable, you know. And I think we've seen now 4 boats drag around us, 3 catamarans and a sailboat. And the ordeal of trying to get re-anchored in this type of weather is, well, you know, they've managed to do it, but not pleasant. Like, thankfully everyone's managed to, you know, get safe and stuff. But yeah, this is like, it's no good. Like, it's not good. It's not good crack, as we would say. But hopefully in 5.5 to 7.5 hours, or whatever it is, it lays off.
Yeah, staring at the wind speed all day is only going to lead to us getting severe sunburn. Cannot relax.
Bloody hell, bloody hell, bloody hell. Tell you what, the difference going from 30 knots to 40 knots, it's like going from posh spice to sporty spice. Then when it gets to 50 knots, it's like going from sporty spice to scary spice. It's the only analogy I can think of right now. It'll have to do.
Meanwhile, I was below deck and I just heard Rob go, bloody hell, so I came rushing up thinking something was wrong, but no, he's talking about the Spice Girls.
Tell you what I really want.
What I really want is for the wind to drop.
It will, about 8 o'clock tonight. It'll drop to 30 knots. I never thought I'd be so pleased to see 30 knots.
Yeah, when I was talking about the lulls earlier and saying, oh, it just like dies down to nothing, and then it goes, like, nothing is like 25 to 30 knots. It feels, it's weird, because if it was just doing that all day, you'd feel it, but because it's gusting so much more, it actually feels like nothing.
It does.
It's really
it's
weird.
Like relatively,
Yeah, it's weird.
And I thought we were just going to have a nice cosy day today, you know. Yeah, it's bad, but we're anchored, and we'll just have a nice, we'll try and make the most of it. We'll watch some films. I'll make a shepherd's pie. We've got some ice cream. Tell you what. Ooh, you do none of that, really. You're just watching your anchor. Right into the drag. That's what 50 knots an anchor looks like. Shit.
When the wind finally dropped to a more respectable 38 knots, we were all able to enjoy some off-the-boat time. The outboard might not be happy, but it does work, and the nav light might not be happy, but it does work. So we celebrate the small wins with a nice drink and a bit of relaxation. Next week, the adventure continues, but we find ourselves asking the question, why is the engine making that noise? Like, comment, share and subscribe. And as always, my nautical friends, fair winds.